Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But guys, week 10 of the NPA, the New York Metapods are taking on the Rochester Rhydons, who is actually a replacement coach. My friend actually, Key, I believe, was in the league as the Los Angeles Klefkes. However, he has dropped out of the league, so he has a replacement coach now, which is Big Pumps. You guys can check out Big Pumps. Link in the description. So here's the thing, though. The team was 1-7, I think, going into this match. So they're 1-7. We're 7-1. So everything says that we should be able to win. But the thing is Big Pump, this is his first match in the league, so he took over the team and he made some adjustments. He dropped like the Mega Septile, picked up Mega Pincer, made some other changes, dropped Muck for Avalug, and picked up Ampharos, and made some adjustments to the team within their structure of what we allowed in the league. So he does have a very different team. So let's kind of go through his team here really quickly and kind of talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. If you guys are hyped for this week of the NPA, this is a very big match for us, I think, as if we do win this match, I think we're pretty much set for playoffs, which will be really nice to clinch that playoff spot. So I'm definitely not taking this match lightly because, again, the record means nothing, and he does have some threats on his team. I think the team's better now than it was before. Mega Pincer makes any team better, really. So anyway, he's got a Terrakion, huge hitter, a little bit predictable in terms of what it does, but it can be a rock polish set, could be an SD set, could be a subset. I mean, if he runs sub Terrakion, that could be really problematic for my team. So just some things to keep in mind there. He's got a Milotic, which is of course a phenomenal physically defensive wall, also specially defensive wall. It's got that Marvel scale. He could also kind of, I think the Marvel Scale makes the most sense because of Entei and stuff, so I'm pretty sure he's going to bring Marvel Scale. But obviously Scald, Ice Beam, things like that. Otherwise, a little bit predictable too, but still a very good Pokemon. Cobalion, very good pivot Pokemon with Volt Switch. Does get Stealth Rocks, but typically is most, I mean, it can be an offensive set from physical or special side, but mostly you see like a Swords Dance variant with like close combat and stuff. Volt Switch and like Toxic, different shenanigans there. He's got an Aggron, of course, which I don't consider to be too much of a threat. Aggron's very good, but does have a few core weaknesses, so kind of has to rely on that sturdy to stay alive. And even though it hits really hard, it does have a lot of weaknesses, and again, can be a bit predictable. He's got a Weezing, great physically defensive wall with Will-O-Wisp and things like that. This thing could be a problem for me, but I do think I have the right Pokemon to take on Weezing. Avalug, phenomenal defensive wall, and it's his only form of entry hazard removal, so look for Avalug. If he does not bring Avalug to this match, I fully plan on just getting my Stealth Rocks up right away. He's got that Mega Pincer, huge problem. Aerial A boosted quick attacks are very good because they obviously prioritize. It's got priority. He's got return. He could run EQ or close combat. He might have to run X Scissor, which is where this Pincer problem comes in here. Because I have Cresselia hard walls, Pincer very well unless he carries X Scissor, but even then it's not a 2-hit KO after leftovers unless he's adamant. So he really needs to run X Scissor, but if he runs X Scissor and he has to run quick attack and he wants to run return, perhaps he can't run close combat and earthquake and substitute and swords dance, all those other moves. So there's we're kind of limiting the Pincer's options here just from the fact that our team is built in a certain way. So I'm really hoping to kind of hinder that Pincer right off the bat and make it so he's not able to run all the like offensive moves he would otherwise run. Scrafty, obviously 4 times weakness to Fairy is something we're going to want to try to capitalize on this match. But Scrafty's actually kind of scary because if it sets up some Dragon Dances, it actually can sweep our team, so we do need to be very conscious of that. And if he does have like the Shed Skin, we're going to need to be aware of that. I want to kind of scout to see if he's Intimidate, Shed Skin, or Moxie right off the bat, so I can kind of feel that out and make the proper decisions. He's got a Spiritomb there, another thing weak to Fairy, so you're going to see us kind of like try to double up there. He's probably not going to bring both of those. Diggersby, very good Pokemon. Does hit base 78 speed tier, so a little on the slower side, but you can always run it Scarfed, or you can run it with like a Choice Band, or Choice Scarfed, or it could just be Life Orb offensive. Gets great coverage, but again, another physical attacker. So you see his big hitters are Pincer, Diggersby, and Terrakion, all physical attackers. Doesn't really have much presence from the special side. He does have this Ampharos as his last Pokemon, but most of his offense is actually from the physical side, except for maybe, like I said, Milotic and Ampharos. So we might be able to take advantage of that and really kind of work with our walls in the proper way. So anyway, we're going to be kicking things off with Sableye this week. Mirror, not shiny. Don't ask, it's just not shiny this week. We're bringing max HP, max defense with the Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, standard Calm Mind Sableye. I felt like it was the best bet for this. He doesn't really have any special attackers, so I know I could be like super bulky on the physical side, burn some stuff. He has nothing that really wants to absorb burn aside from Milotic. After a few Calm Minds, we pretty much win with Shadow Ball. Couldn't run Dark Pulse because he has a couple justified users with Terrakion and Cobalion, so I didn't run a boost their stats up. Obviously, this makes us walled by Diggersby, but I felt like it was worth not giving him the boost with Dark Pulse. So kind of went with that there. Our second Pokemon is going to be our Thundurus Flash Drive here. Again, not shiny. I don't know what happened. My shiny charm broke, I guess. So we've got Modest Nature. We're running max special attack, 180 speed on this thing, which is going to allow us to outpace a Pinsir Jolly Pinsir prior to Mega Evolution, I believe. So we are going to be able to outspeed Pinsir prior to Mega Evolution, if I'm not mistaken. Thunderbolt and Focus Blast is all the coverage we need. We actually beat his entire team with Thunderbolt and Focus Blast if we don't miss Focus Blast. And then we're the dual dance set, which is Agility and Nasty Plot. So based on the scenario, we click either Agility or Nasty Plot to ensure that we're going to set up and sweep. So if I get things like Terrakion out of the way and Pinsir out of the way, then maybe we go for the Nasty Plot. If those things are still alive and I want to sweep from, you know, things are chipped away otherwise, then we go for the Agility. If we go for both, then we really win. So the nice thing is we do resist the quick attack from the Pinsir, which is very, very nice. And that Focus Blast, assuming it does not miss, will destroy the rest of his team. So we have a lot of opportunities there with Flash Drive to actually sweep this match. In my opinion, I think it could be absolutely monstrous. The next Pokemon we're going to be bringing is our free Cresselia. Cresselia making its return after taking a week off last week. Leads the team tied with kills for Scolipede, I believe, with 10. Max HP, max defense, just fully physically bulky. Moonblast and Psychic there hits pretty much everything on his team. The Moonblast is obviously going to hit the things like Scrafty and Spiritomb. The Psychic hits like Terrakion and, you know, stuff like that. So we have a couple options there. We are just super physically bulky. Like I said, we can take on pretty much anything with this thing. The T-Wave is lovely because we can paralyze things, slow down his threats. His only cleric is his Ampharos. So a couple things to kind of keep in mind there. He does have very few options in terms of removing status. Obviously, that Milotic is a problem, but we have other things to deal with it, as you can probably see as we move towards the rest of the team builder here. So Cresselia, I think, could put in a lot of work. Pretty self-explanatory, nothing too crazy there. So the next Pokemon we're going to be bringing is our Steelix here. Rolex making another return here. Rocking that max HP. A lot of defense investment. I believe we have 172 defense EVs, 82 and 84 attack, I think. So quite a bit of bulk from the physical side. That's going to allow us to live, I believe I calced it for 2 close combats from Pinsir or something like that. But we do have the Chople Berry there as well, and the Chople Berry is going to reduce the power of fighting type moves. And the reason for that is because if Pinsir carries close combat, which makes a lot of sense for its carry over Earthquake, I guess it could carry Earthquake. But either way, if it carries Earthquake, I can take it no problem. If it carries close combat, I can take it even better. And even better, I can take the close combat from the Cobalion and the Terrakion and hit them both hard with Earthquakes myself. So Stone Edge is obviously there for Pinsir, but this thing actually serves as a phenomenal response to a lot of Pokemon. It stops the Ampharos. It could take a hit from the Terrakion and the Cobalion and the Pinsir. We have Toxic there if the Milotic wants to switch in. I can put that thing on a timer. Obviously, we're walled by things like Weezing, but that's, you know, you can't wall everything with one Pokemon. It's a Steelix. It's not, you know, the best Pokemon in the game, but it actually matches up decently well this week. Stealth Rocks are a huge priority, obviously. Whittling that Pinsir down to about half health opens the door up for Entei later on, so kind of spoiling what our next Pokemon is going to be, but that's okay. Or second to next Pokemon. Next Pokemon is our Arwen here, which actually I think has 8 kills and 2 deaths, so absolutely phenomenal, only 4 games. So I'm looking for it to put in the work again. Same kind of deal. We're running that Timid Trace Choice Scarf user. Choice Scarf, just enough speed to outspeed max speed Diggersby by 1 point, so we're pretty much max speed, max special attack. Moonblast, Psychic, Energy Ball, D-Bond. So I think we actually brought this same exact one last week. Moonblast and Psychic just destroy things. Energy Ball hits the Milotic. It also hits the Diggersby, which is nice as opposed to running like an electric type move. So it's just better coverage there. But Psychic puts in a lot of work. Moonblast puts in a lot of work. Destiny Bond there as a kind of a last ditch effort to, you know, say, all right, Arwen, you did your thing. So I really, really like this Pokemon. Excuse me. Being Scarfed puts it in front of pretty much everything on his team. It allows us to outspeed a Scraggy or Scrafty after 1 DD and Oko with Moonblast. So couple options there. So really, really like this Pokemon Arwen, and I think it could put in the finest of work, of course. And last but not least is Vesuvius. Vesuvius is coming back with that Adamant Choice Band. This week we are actually rocking a good amount of speed. Yeah, pretty much max speed, just a little bit under max. We're trying to outpace, I think we're actually trying to outpace the Pinsir at max speed. Maybe that's what this is. And then the Thundurus was something else. I don't remember the speeds now. I kind of forgot. I had them written down and I forgot. But anyway, Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, Iron Head, Stone Edge, pretty standard stuff there. Sacred Fire, he really doesn't have many good switch-ins. Like, you can't switch in Terrakion because you could get burned. You can switch in Milotic, but it's going to take 25%, then a burn, and then it's going to be down like 30%. Then it's got to recover. Then I switch into Thundurus, and then it just destroys lives. So it really makes sense there. Nothing really wants to get burned on his team. Iron Head's there for the Terrakion if I predict the switch, if it kind of he loses Milotic or whatever. Stone Edge just hits the Pinsir a little harder, but realistically, I wouldn't stay in anyway. I would E-speed it late game. So that's that. Let me talk a little bit about some of the Pokemon we're not bringing though, because I'm sure a couple people are going to be surprised. So I decided not to bring Scolipede. Excuse me. I decided not to bring Scolipede for a couple reasons. One, He has quick attack on Pinsir. It's gonna do a ton of damage to us, probably Oko. So I felt like it wasn't really gonna make a whole lot of sense for me to bring Scolipede as much as I wanted to. I just was a little shy on some of the Okos I wanted to hit, and I felt like I could make some of the other Pokemon work better. There was a lot of Pokemon I could bring this week, so I was kind of torn there. I was gonna bring Amoonguss as well as a physically defensive pivot, because it kind of checks a couple things. It handles my Milotic very well and stuff like that, but I decided to go a little bit more offensive with Thundurus and Gardevoir and Entei. And then in terms of other Pokemon, wasn't gonna bring Shiftry. It just didn't really make sense because of the Pinsir. And I guess Druddigon, I like Steelix more. And Alomomola was actually really good this week too, but you only could bring 6. So that's kind of my thought process there. Sorry for the yawns, guys. I don't know, I just kind of yawn a lot, but that's my thought process for Big Pum here. I actually have the match in like 5 minutes, so I really kind of got to hustle to get that match, the match ready here. So you guys will see the match tomorrow, so get excited for that, guys. Show your love on that like button down below, and we're going to do our best to hit him with a hard in, as always, and move to 8-1, hopefully. So my name is Dan. I'm the coach of your New York Metapods, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.